Nigga, if you ain't drinking with your boy, fuck is you do?
So let's back it up a little bit. I ain't asked you this, but you actually grew up in Detroit, right?
Yes.
So you grew up
born and raised
in Detroit.
Detroit, 8 Mile down there, 8 Mile State Fair area.
And Detroit is actually where a lot of things took place while you were growing up. That influenced your life to this day.
Where everything that influenced my life to this day grew up. Yeah.
Tell me what Detroit was like in the late 80s, early 90s.
Late 80s, early 90s, Detroit was a drug capital. Yeah. Both my brothers were big time dope dealers when I was growing up. One of my brothers was in prison at that time, and my other brother, Nerd, which is the one that got murdered, he was a big time dope dealer at that time. My niece Stacy was born in '89. My sister was born with Dirty Dave. He was a big dope time. He was a big drug lord back in that time. Him and my brother were drug lords back in those days. And I was raised. I'm a countrified city girl. You know, I was raised by a drug lord. My mom worked nights at Chrysler, so my brother raised me. While my brother Nerd raised me while my mother was at Chrysler, while my mother was at work. Then my brother went to prison. Well, my mom got transferred to Days, which was where she wanted to be. And around that time, and not too long after she got transferred to Days at Chrysler, my brother Nerd went to prison. So both my brothers were in prison. But my brother Nerd went to prison. My brother Nerd went to prison in '90, and he got out. No, he went to prison in '89. No, hold on. I gotta think back. '89, Stacy was born. Stacy was a baby when the house got shot up. My brother went to prison in '90. And he got out at the end of '90. At the end of '91. He didn't do his whole 2 years. He got out on good time. Because he had to do... My brother Nerd and Greg, which is Stacy's uncle, which I call my brother also. I call him my brother because they were in my... His brother Dave, which I just called Dirty Dave, he's my niece Stacy's father. He's how we end up meeting the Wests. But Dave lied to my sister Shell, which is the one that I live with now, Stacy's mother. He lied to her and told her that he was 18 when they started dating. But in all actuality, he was 14, about to turn 15.
Damn.
But he didn't look it. He looked as though he was 18 years old, but he was not. That's just because he grew up before his time. But yeah, he was 15 when Stacy was born. And Greg is his older brother, one of his older brothers, because he was the baby. But anyway, Greg and my brother Nerd shot up this house around in Crack Alley and somebody got killed. But they did that because our house got shot up because of my brother Larry, which was he wasn't in prison at the time, but he was out on drugs. He was, he sold drugs, but he did his own product. But anyway, he beat up this man's girlfriend because she wouldn't give him her pipe to use. And they came and shot up our house looking for him, even though he didn't stay with us. And when my brother Nerd and them found out about it, they went around there looking for Larry because they couldn't find him. They went around there looking for him. And when they went around there, things went awry and somebody got murdered. So my brother Nerd got 2.5 years for possession of a firearm, and Greg got life for murder. Now my brother Nerd, he was on trial for murder. He had been charged with murder also, but the lawyer he had, Mr. Dean, man, that's a smooth cat. Mr. Dean is a smooth cat. He's a damn good lawyer too. He got my brother off. He got the murder charges dismissed, and my brother only got time for the firearm. Possession of a firearm.
So
2.5 years.
In 1991, it was a movie come out called New Jack City.
Yeah, New Jack City. That's about the Chambers Brothers.
It's about the Chambers Brothers,
yeah.
Exactly. And the Chambers Brothers started in Detroit.
Yeah, they were the first drug lords in Detroit.
Did you ever have any interactions with the Chambers Brothers?
Well, I've seen them and I've met them, but I didn't have interactions as in hanging out with them or not. I've hung around, but I wasn't hanging out with them. My brother Nerve used to go with their sister Chanel.
Okay.
And him and Chanel went to school together. But, they were high school sweethearts or whatever. So whenever my brother Nerve would go over there to visit her, of course I would be there. Because he raised me. He was the one that looked after me when my mother was at work. So wherever he went, I had to go. So that's how I came in contact with the Chambers Brothers. They're some bad cats. Well, they were bad cats back in those days. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's about 4 of them. 4 or 5 of them. I don't know if they're still alive or not, because I don't know. After my brother Nerve got murdered, we kind of lost contact with Chanel. But yeah, they that's who started my brother Larry off as a drug lord. He scored his product from the Chambers Brothers.